Welcome, tricksters and tricksetters, to another VOD review. Today, at our coaching table, we have a Katsura VIPER Diamond 1 on Icebox. First of all, let's talk about this. Is VIPER a good controller on Icebox? Definitely yes. Is she necessity on Icebox? Not really. Especially because of the nerfs that VIPER got. You can run it down with Claw, you can play double controllers, you can play Omen, which in my opinion is the best pick up to Immortal 3 if you already want to main something on Icebox, because with VIPER now you only have one Molotov for the post plant and to stall the enemy's push, and also like solo carrying with VIPER on this map can be a pain in the ass, especially because the map favors like long range gun fights, verticality and operator, and you know, outlaw and long range weapons, and that's why Omen is 10 times better if you're below Immortal 3. And above Immortal 3 you kinda need to play VIPER on this map. But remember one golden rule of Valorant: team compositions don't matter. Better team will always win as long as everybody is playing their main agents. Let's see your tracker. This is the tracker that we're dealing with today. Holy that's a lot of Valorant. Your playtime is good, you know? A bit too good, to be honest. If I have like more than 120 hours to play Valorant within an act and I'm below Immortal 3, I would definitely play the game simultaneously on at least 2 accounts. Playing on 2 accounts fixes a lot of the problems that we have in this game. I would highly recommend you to make an alt and implement this concept. We're definitely stuck, you know, in Ascendant 1 elo, you know, that's a bit of a problem. I mean, this is how the Hearthstone player actually look like. In 3x consecutively, she has more than 100 hours and she is in the same rank. That's the Hearthstone player. Here, like when it comes to your mechanical stats, such as headshot percentage, I mean, it's quite okay. You know, 20% overall, 32% on Vandal, that's okie dokie. Your ADR is also abysmal for like a Diamond 3 Ascendant 1 player. Like basically the minimal ADR that you should be able to keep up with in every single elo is 135. And now we have the agents, God help us. So Killjoy, Cypher, VIPER, Fade, Claw, Gecko, Sky. Listen here, if I was you, I would force myself outside of my comfort zone. I feel that playing Sentinels so much force you in this type of a passive habit, and you probably don't really perform well in the high octane situations. You didn't get enough gunfights to understand how to take the fights with the enemies and what is a good, bad or optimal engagement for you. And if I was you, I would completely ditch all of this static for the next like 2 or 3 months. First of all, I would implement the Omen, especially because all of the problems that you mentioned here, that agent in a long run is fixing all of these problems, because with the Omen you need to think a lot, and if you invest like 400, 500 hours on Omen, you will become a much better player on other agents as well. Now, let's see your weapon versatility. Oh, bro. This is interesting. Your full buy rounds are actually optimal, but every other economy for you is garbage. This can mean a lot of things. You either have a poor map knowledge and you don't know where to push, what type of strategy to do in the pistol rounds on the attackers and defenders side that are the most effective. Take a look at my ranked playbook on my Discord server for that. Or you're just shit with the pistols and you need to practice them more in deathmatch, practice range, TDM, etc, etc. We can see here in your weapon versatility that your weapon versatility is one big potato. You have 2,300 kills on a Vandal, and in the top 5 weapons there are 3 pistols and a Spectre sitting in the second spot with 304 kills. First of all, I want to ask you, why are you making your time killing the enemies harder? Like, why are you making killing the enemies harder than it should actually be? It is simply impossible to have this type of a tracker with your level of mechanical skill in this specific elo, and you expect from yourself to reach Immortal 3. In the top 10 weapons, there needs to be Vandal or Phantom, Stinger, Shorty, 2 pistols, Outlaw, Judge. Like, make your life easier for yourself. Now, let's see the actual VOD review. And let's see if all of this is actually true that I've recommended you thus far. Now, before we dive into this VOD review, let me tell you about an amazing software called Valorant Tracker by TRN, which you can download for free by using my link from the description. This application allows you to analyze yourself and to always understand on which fields you can improve as a solo queue player. And in my private coaching sessions, this is the first thing that I analyze for my students. This software is also extremely useful to analyze your teammates and enemies during your live games, because already at the start, based on these statistics, you can instantly see which players are the weakness of yours or enemy team, which can increase your chances of winning if you use this data in the smart way. But beside all of that, Valorant Tracker also has integrated agent guides and lineups that can be extremely useful for players that are learning new characters, or that simply want to increase their game knowledge while they're actually playing the game. For an example, if you're playing Raze on Icebox and you have no idea how to use her utility on that map, in between rounds you can simply click on Guides, find Raze, select the map that you're playing, and voila! You have some short guide and lineups that you can implement on both attackers and defenders side in real time, while majority of these guys have my coaching seal of approval. Even though this video is sponsored by Valorant Tracker, which I highly appreciate and it will help me a lot if you use my link from the description to download the app for free, I truly believe that this software can give you an advantage in your solo queue games and help you to improve faster. Okay, now is the time to dive into this VOD review. But first, let's talk about Icebox a bit. So, our friend Katsura is starting on a defender side of Icebox. How do we play Icebox in ranked solo queue? First of all, which agent you play doesn't really matter. Like, basically there are certain rules that you follow on every single map in Valorant, regardless of the agents that you actually play, because it is ranked environment and you're not playing in a VCT, you know, like environment where like you're playing with a Woot, playing with a Boaster, playing with a Durkay, and they all know what exactly to do. So you need to control the outcome of your rounds, and you need to counter the enemies yourself, because if you don't do it, your teammates might not as well. At least for the first, you know, like 4 to 6 rounds of every single match in Valorant on both attackers and defenders side, one of your main focuses should be fully controlling the outcome of your rounds, valuing your life to the highest possible degree, and playing on the retake and refrag potential. Now, on Icebox, our default bomb site and number 1 priority is obviously A site, and number 2 priority is the B site. And when it comes to the mid area of the map, yes, we should play it from time to time, depending how much enemies are actually abusing the mid area of the map, and whether or not we want to maybe, you know, surprise the enemies with some kind of a peek, try to punish them. And also, it really depends on the enemy's economy as well. Like, if enemies are eco or hull buy on the attacker side, chances are much higher that enemies are gonna push you on B and mid, or they're gonna play some kind of a default. Why? Because, you know, when they're having like classic pistols, stingers, shorties, frenzies, ghost, sheriff, it's not really a fun time pushing the enemies with operator that are playing on the A site. Now, why is the A site our default bomb site? Because it's a site that is harder for retake, easier for the post plant, and the majority of the times in the first round, enemies will push you on the A site in the first round on Icebox. Essentially, like, the default bomb site is not the site that you play 24/7 or that you play always. Default bomb site is just the site that you play, like, you know, whenever you have no idea where the enemies are gonna go next, or, you know, you have no idea how to counter the enemies, essentially. So, in the first round with VIPER, what do we do on Icebox, on a defender side? In the first round of Icebox, my absolutely favorite strategy is the following. You can buy the classic pistol with a light shield and snake bite. You can also buy a ghost with a snake bite, or you can buy the sheriff without any other piece of utility. Those are the 3 options that you can actually buy. Like, why do I prioritize snakebite in the first round? Because first rounds are usually very explosive, and you know, on the A site we already have a wall for some kind of a plan or strategy, and essentially, like, I don't prioritize like poison cloud on both attackers and defender side over the snakebite. I just feel that this Molotov is very powerful when you're, when you want to stop the enemy's plant or the enemy's defuse. Long story short, in the first round, those are the 3 buy options, but what is the strategy that we perform? So in the first round, what I love to do with Viper, I love to do 3 different strategies. So the first strategy is placing the aggressive wall for the belt, tower, and aim an area of the map that looks like this. So this wall is supporting your teammates to some degree. Like basically it is disallowing the enemies to just go for the, clean swing without being tagged by your wall. Also, if your teammates decide to play a bit more aggressive, you can support them with this wall as well. Like this wall is not bad when you're going for some kind of an aggression. But to be honest, in the full buy rounds or eco rounds and half buy rounds, if your teammates want to be aggressive in the aim and area of the map, much better wall is the wall that we do from here. And essentially we just cut off completely the nest area of the map, the belt, and essentially, we can also do the Molotov. Also, there is a wall down here that we can use to surprise the enemies with a peek and kill them, but whatever. Like in the first round, let's come back to the first round. So in the first round, this is one strategy that we can do. We come up here, and our goal is to make this position as thin as possible. So essentially the wall should look something like this. We want to make this spot believable for the enemy's team and make them believe that nobody can hide there. That there is no way that an enemy can hide inside of this position. So you can also, do it from this spot maybe. Just look at the minimap, make really, really tiny corner there. That would be perfect. This is perfect. And then, if our teammates are, in some kind of a trouble, because they're pushing the enemies here, we can always support our teammates, with some kind of a Molotov on the belt, open the wall, and, try to delay and stop the enemy's push. But our main strategy here is to save enough toxin so that when enemies are pushing in, we hide here by looking straight into the wall. You don't want to do this because your gun is going to be sticking out. We let the enemies pass us, and then on timing, we use this cheesy strategy to get some easy kills. Second strategy that we can do in the first round is we come up right here, and we place the wall on top of the 410 generator a bit more curved. You see how, I'm not placing the wall straight forward, like we do it from this position here, basically, like this. I would place the wall a bit more curved to the right, like that. And then play on the nest right here. For this strategy, once again, you can buy a classic, ghost, sheriff. It really doesn't matter, whatever you're feeling more comfortable with. I usually go with a ghost or classic pistol, because you will be in the action, in the heat of the moment. And then, we camp here, we wait for the perfect moment of time to surprise the enemies. And what is the perfect moment of time? You hear the enemies here, here, and here. Enemies are executing the bomb site with maybe a SOVA drone or, I don't know, just pushing in. Open the wall, get behind the wall, and try to surprise the enemies from this position as they're moving there, or as they're moving through the pipes. Or what you can also do, you can always pick some kind of a good timing to maybe surprise 1 or 2 enemies, and then reposition back, and then isolate 1 versus 1 gunfights. When you're doing this strategy, you can also if you have a Molotov and enemies are pushing in, we can also deny the enemy space on the right side maybe, after we open the wall. So you open the wall, deny the space, now move up here, and then try to get a kill, play with your teammates, that's it. And the final, basically, strategy and, setup that we can do for the first round is hiding on top of the nest, on top of the A tower, right here. Classic ghost, it doesn't matter. For this specific strat, I kind of prefer like the ghost with a Molotov. And then, as the enemies are crossing this position and this position, you open the wall, and you're trying to f the enemies here, here, and then, once we kill those enemies once again, we can go up and maybe get even more kills. This strategy I use with almost every single agent in Valorant, just always in a different way, you know, depends what type of utility you have as that specific agent. It's a really effective strategy because if you don't showcase yourself to the enemy team on this position as they're pushing the A main area of the map for, let's say, like 20-30 seconds, enemies won't have time to actually clear this spot. Like, basically, when an enemy is pathing from the right side like this, he cannot place his crosshair up there. He needs to be aware of the peak on the under the rafters, on top of the rafters, in the screen, and that is an easy kill for you. When enemies are pushing from the left side, they're exposed from this position, this position, this position, this position. Also, one enemy can be on top of the screens, and they cannot place their crosshair like this. The perfect moment of time for you to peek from this position and to surprise the enemies is when the enemies are here or there, when they're passing your wall or just passing these two segments. And then you can get some easy, cheesy pick. If your wall is still active, you can easily reposition at the backside and then fight together with your teammates. Or maybe you can continue your aggression and try to surprise the enemies with a secondary aggressive play.
What's up, tricksters? My name is Charlatan. I'm an all-time Radiant player since closed beta and the #1 most experienced Valorant coach. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you're interested in coaching yourself, be sure to join my official Discord over at discord.gg/charlatan. Some of the coaches and pro players that you're watching today were actually the students of Papito. Other than that, enjoy in this one, baby.
Now, let's see what she's gonna do. Listen, there is not a single map or scenario where you're playing VIPER and in the first round you're playing a classic pistol with a Molotov, poison cloud without a light shield. If you're playing VIPER, you have like very limited buy options. On Icebox, classic pistol, light shield, Molotov, ghost, Molotov, or the sheriff. And that's it. It's a very long range map, like just go for the one taps, you already have a wall to stop the enemy's push and that's it. Second mistake of this round is why are we starting so aggressively instead of the tube? And why is the KO the only one playing on the A side? The third mistake, if you're already buying the poison cloud and you have time to position the poison cloud and wall somewhere, what I would do, I would always put this poison cloud right here for my teammates on the B side. This is much better than this. Why? Because it's a one-way smoke for everything. This one-way is much better. This one-way is good if you want to play around it yourself, you know, like basically you want to, I don't know, like you want to maybe surprise the enemies like below this position with a stinger, with a shorty, try to trade yourself, or, you know, your teammates are aggressively fighting for the B main area of the map. Okay, why not? We can have it as a cover and to deny the enemy's push. But this right here is much better for the retakes, and also much better if you are not the one playing on the B side. You just line yourself up with this line right here, and then you aim inside of this corner and do a jump right click. Bam. But there's no way that in the first round I would play mid with any agent in this game. And also this wall here is a terrible wall. Now, why is this a bad wall? You're kind of helping the enemies a bit. You know, like this wall is maybe one of the worst walls you can do for the A set of Icebox. Why? You're fully blocking yours and your teammate's vision right here. And if the enemies are lurking from mid, they're gonna have like 10 times more confidence to lurk. Because this is fully covered. They don't need to worry about the peek there. This is fully covered. They can wait for a perfect moment of time to just swing and fuck you up. Not good. If you're doing the A wall, just always do it from this position. And we can do the aggro one. We can do the one with a cubby position. We can do like the regular wall, the curved wall. Like we have 4 or 5 different walls on the A side. But this is no bueno, no bueno. And listen here. In the first round of Icebox, always gamble and play on the A side. Valorant is the gambling game of numbers. Like, you need to understand the analytical side of Valorant if you want to have higher chances of winning your rounds and matches. Like, 60 to 70% of times in ranked solo queue, enemies are gonna push you onto the A side in the first round. If something already happens more than 60% of the times in ranked solo queue, it is a good gamble to play that position and to try to counter the enemies there. Anyways, on Icebox, retakes of the B side are far easier, much easier than the retake of the A side. Retake of the A side is hell of a time. Of course, depends where the enemies plant the spike, but still, hell of a time. A lot of the off angles from which enemies can peek you, a lot of the, you know, pixel positions, lineup positions, like a lot of the corners that you need to clear, not good. Here, like, if you're already close to this position, and enemies still didn't plant the spike, and you hear them planting the spike on default, right here, I would actually do this Molotov. So basically, you see here on the wall, we have one box, second box. Where you want to aim, when you're doing this Molotov, you want to aim inside of this second box right here. So basically, you know, this is the first box from this pillar, second box. And then simply do a, you know, just a throw like this. Bam. That's it. This whole area of the map is fully covered. And now enemies cannot plant the spike here. Enemies cannot plant the spike here. Maybe if you know, if we just do this from a bit wider position, like let's say we do this, we can also cover the whole, like this position, and this position as well. So, you know, if you're already here and you want to buy some time for your team to rotate and deny the enemy's plant, do it. Always do it. On the A side and play together with our teammates. That Molotov that you did there, I don't know where the f that landed, to be honest. Like, because there, inside of this wall, there's a lot of cracks. And your Molotov might end up like that. You know, when you're using these improvised Molotovs, you really need to pay attention on the map design. And, you know, like, you really don't want that to happen. Here, like, first of all, another mistake that you made is you kept your wall active for way too much time. When you're playing VIPER, especially now, because they nerfed the VIPER completely, her toxin and her wall cannot stay up for a very long period of time. Like, you need to be careful when and how you're using your smokes. If you're already not retaking the site, you're waiting for your teammates to rotate, close the wall. Okay, but here we kind of lost this round, not really because of that wall, but because of the mechanical skill. I mean, your reaction time here was really slow, in my opinion. Your micro corrections are not really good. And anyways, I mean, I really don't know who plays the first round with a classic pistol without a light shield on Icebox. You need to force yourself to play with your most aggressive teammates. In a lot of matches in Valorant, your main focus is not even to counter the enemies. Your main focus is usually to compensate the potential mistakes of your allies, to use the life of your teammates to fight the enemies together, and to abuse every single mistake that enemies make. Like here, for example, you know, Reyna and Jet died, you're still mid. Why? Go play with the key. I mean, you know that some of the enemies are here. You don't know if enemies are rotating. If they rotate and play the spy, who cares? When you're 3 versus 3, nobody gives a shit about map control. Remember also this tip in Valorant. Like, whenever you end up on a defender's side, in a 2v2, 3v3 scenario, or you have the numbers advantage over the enemy team, like, fuck the map control. Sell a bit of the map control just for a chance to play a proper trading game with your teammates and to isolate the angles in a smart way. Because when you're 2v2 or 3v3 on Icebox, you cannot really cover all of the angles from which enemies can kill you. You know. But here, fuck the mid, fuck the B side, you know, just... You can play around the screens and maybe hold this position and this position, be ready to support your teammates on the site. Like, Claw was playing here, KO was playing here. Done. Be closer to them, be ready to refrag them, and your life is gonna be much easier in ranked solo queue. Ooh, that play of the Neon was really nice, man. And also, nice shot by you. Nice shot by you. That was a good job. Good job. That was insane, actually. Really, really good. I just want to see something here. But, you know, like here... Also, like, you know, enemies don't know where the hell you are. You can be behind them. You can be in the CT. They don't know what you're doing. I think here, like, you should have kept your location a secret instead of making the footstep sounds. Because our enemies gonna really expect that 5 of you guys stacked the A site. Most of the times not. That's a nice skill. That's a really good awareness. Okay, we know the Sova is on the right. We heard the footstep on the right. I don't know, like, especially in the clutch scenarios, you definitely need to keep your location a secret a bit more. We already heard that enemy Sova went from this position to this position. So he is behind the wall. Let's open up the wall. Let's get up on the bomb site. Onto this position. And let's see if Sova is gonna peek something. Then maybe from the ropes we can engage that Sova, clear this area of the map, and surprise the enemy Sova. Instead of stomping at the backside, selling our location to this Sova, and that's it. And also, in this scenario, personally, I wouldn't use the ultimate, because you're only 30 HP, and if the Sova has the shock darts, I mean, you're cooked. Like, he doesn't even need to do a precise shock dart, you're dead.
Where do you think he is?
I heard him in maze.
Yeah, you heard him at maze.
But it wasn't in he's probably
Yeah. But he can be now. Woo! I mean, we can also win the round like this.
I see, like, the round's over. The round is...
Follow your teammates, follow the jet.
Go.
Follow the jet, follow the jet, follow the jet, get a better angle. Nah. This is a problem, this is bad. Whenever your teammates are playing aggressive and they're about to engage the enemies, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. How much time I need to connect with that teammate, and which pathing I need to prioritize in order to actually play with that guy on the refrag potential. And the second question that you need to ask yourself is like, which angle should I hold in order to play on the refrag potential with my jet? If you're here, your jet, so here is your jet. You don't have time to do this. Because Neon can jump on top of the boxes, kill the jet, and who knows how aggressive this jet is gonna be. I mean, Neon also peeked just behind this box and killed your jet. You know, whenever I have very aggressive teammates in my team that are just searching for the frags, my main priority is finding the most optimal route to connect with that ally and to play on the refrag potential. So here, the absolutely best game decision was to simply use a Molotov here so that Neon cannot peek us from that angle. And then, as the jet is pushing this, I'm holding this angle to refrag the jet. Or I'm holding up here and then killing the Neon there. Or, as the jet is moving forward, I'm also gonna move forward. And as the Jet is taking the fight, I'm gonna peek as well and take a kill.
Go, Jet. Go, King.
Pay attention on your positioning based on what your teammates are doing.
I'm flashing.
Behind the box, behind the little box.
Okay, this was a bit better. Okay, so that is kind of like defender side. Let's see what our friend Katsura is doing on the attack. Now, let's first talk about, how to play Icebox on attack and, what is the best pattern of pushing, your default site, all of that juicy stuff. So first of all, on the attacker side of Icebox, your default site and number 1 priority is the A site once again. Number 2 priority B site. Number 3 priority mid area of the map. Essentially on this map, the best idea for the first 4 to 6 rounds is to test the 5-man pushes, playing together on A site and B site. See how the enemies are gonna respond to your 5-man pushes, and then if you notice that you have an opportunity to lurk through mid, or maybe you need to abuse the mid area of the map to basically win the rounds and outplay the enemies, that is the only moment of time when we should be using the mid area of the map to actually flank, lurk, and to basically outplay the enemies. So TLDR is that, in the first 4 to 6 rounds, do the 5-man pushes on A and B, depending on your economy and enemy's economy and, what works better for you. And then from the 4th, 5th, or 6th round, you can start using the mid area of the map to maybe lurk, flank, split the map, play that. In the first round, I would always hit the A site with my team and just do a 5-man push on A, because A push is a lot cleaner. There's not a lot of mistakes that your teammates can make. Everything is about the proper crosshair placement, playing on a proper refrag potential, and that's it. And if you win the first round on A, then 3 rounds in a row, I would push the A site, and then in a 4th round, we can fake A and go B. Now, why is this the best pattern of pushing? Because if you push the 1 bomb site 3 rounds in a row, you apply enormous amount of mental pressure on that specific bomb site. And when you push the, let's say, A site 3 rounds in a row for the first 3 rounds, no matter what was the outcome of these 3 rounds, in the 4th round, you can easily pull the enemy's rotation a bit faster, and enemies are definitely gonna, in 80% of case scenarios, enemies are gonna pull a faster rotation in that 4th round. Let's see what's gonna happen in this first round and what they are gonna do. Okay, so she is doing this lineup, I guess. Listen, in the first round of Icebox, if I'm playing VIPER, personally, I would never buy the classic pistol with the light shield. It is really not worth it. Basically, it's really a medium, long-range map. You don't really have a dash ability or some kind of a close gapping tool. And this classic pistol might not be enough to fight the enemies, at the CT area of the map, on the rafters and shit like that. So I would always go with a snakebite and ghost, or with a sheriff and a wall, and that's it. Okay, there's no plan at all. Listen, one of the most important rounds, when you should actually open up your microphone, is the first round on the attacker side. Usually on my streams, I don't speak, I don't communicate that much. I'm not really trying to be an IGL. Usually I provide the silent support to my teammates. I'm a very adaptive player, and I only give a call out if I see a really good way to counter the enemies. But in the first round, always tell them what to do. So in this round, I would definitely just, tell my teammates, hey guys, let's go A together. Use the wall for the A site. Use the snake bite to deny the space of the enemy somewhere on the A site and to pressure them. And that's it. This is the worst way to start this is literally the worst way to start the first round on the attacker's side. Now, and also what are you doing in mid? Don't touch the mid area of the map in the first round and in the full buy rounds unless you really need to do that. But also our claw is AFK, so that's not really...
Still close.
Ooh, angle clearing here is so bad.
Close.
So bad. Listen, first of all, I would always avoid fighting the enemies from the A short. All of these angles are not working in your favor. There's too many off angles where enemies can be. It is not worth it. Unless you want to jump spot the enemies or push here, then it's okay. But I would never take this fight with the enemies. Especially not with a close range weapon. medium range weapon, such as classic pistol. We just swung with this angle, like, you know, we just went out.
Or like Jenny thing. Chambers mid.
One rafters, one nurse.
Never mind.
One side. Silva. He's hit 60.
But wait. So enemy Neon is behind us. We know that Sova is alone at the backside. What the fuck are we doing here? Why are you so scared? Whenever you notice that enemies are this split apart, like the enemies have like two groups of players that are not playing together. Let's say enemies have 2 players here and 2 players here. Your main job is always to fuck up this group of the enemy's players before the rest of the enemy team connects with them. But here, we know that the Neon is on mid. She can probably rotate fast onto the CT, you know, just sprint there, or maybe she's gonna go for the flank and lurk. Whatever the Neon is doing, it doesn't really matter. My Jet is here. I'm here. KO is here. I run it down. Instantly give the call out to your teammates to aggressively engage that Sova, so that we delete the Sova, and then only Neon is left alive. And it really doesn't matter what Neon is doing in this round. She's gonna be in a huge disadvantage because she's gonna be 2v1. But this is a huge mistake, like not falling down onto this Sova before the Neon connects with the Sova. Especially because Neon right now can also be behind us.
Gone.
We should have dealt with that Sova much faster, like we lost the timing for that.
Nice.
Okay. We clutched this round, like this last 1v1 was once again a bit lucky, to be honest. Like I don't know what Neon was doing there. Like if I was that Neon, I would just wait to see if you're gonna plant the spike. And you know, like on the spike plant, I'm gonna peek out. Like basically I would just go all the way on the rafters, play in this position, wait for your spike plant and try to surprise you. But you know, as I said, like in this elo, most of the times you can just win the rounds based on the enemy's mistakes. Now we're going A.
All of us have like one orb off our ults.
Oh.
I mean, sure, you can keep the wall on B set as a default, but I really think that in this elo, it is better to give your teammates the wall on the bomb set that they are pushing, and that you're using the poison cloud on mid to play with the enemy's mind. I mean, this is also okay strategy with VIPER, like, you know, using the B wall every single round, and enemies don't really know whether or not we're gonna go B or A. Because one problem of the A set of Icebox is that, generally speaking, there isn't any smoke that is, you know, that important. The most important smoke is the smoke for the screens, you know, like this, or putting a poison cloud here, or putting a VIPER wall like this. Every other smoke on the A set is like whatever, you know, like you don't need it. Borderline.
Sounds like they pushed up.
Especially like in this round, lurking and pushing through mid is bad, because in the last round, what happened? You and Jet got 2 kills on mid, and we did a split on B side. If I was in the enemy team right now, I would be very, very paranoid that one enemy might be mid, and I would try to kill you here as you're lurking, and I will pay a close attention on whether or not you're here. This is a really bad play.
We don't care, but
This is a really bad play because, you know, you don't want to repeat the same shits that you did in the previous rounds. Like, when it comes to the 5-man pushes, yes, you can repeat them. But when it comes to lurking, when it comes to flanking, when it comes to doing the solo plays, most of the times you don't want to repeat them round by round.
You're gonna
Yep,
flank
I'm
them.
Okay, finally we're playing together.
Updraft, one
Spectre.
updraft.
I mean, first of all, I would never buy Spectre in my life, in the middle of the match. Spectre is only good in the second round, when you win the first round against the eco enemies, and that's it. In every other round, you should just buy a Stinger. Stinger is much better weapon, like, against the enemies that are full buy. But on this map, to be honest, like, it's a really medium, long-range map. So your primary, like, Halba and eco weapons need to be, like, Sheriff, Marshal, Outlaw, Bulldog, Guardian. Spectre is really like hit or miss. I mean, like, if you play post plant at the back of the yellow, you know, here, and you want to support your teammates that are fighting you on site, or enemies are defusing the spike here, this range is not really working in your favor that good.
Updraft, one updrafted.
Came in back.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like, on every single map, there's a lot of ultimate lineups that you can use for the post plant. This ultimate that you did here is okay. It's optimal, like, it's not bad, definitely. So yeah, it's okay. We can play around it, because we need to play more aggro.
Oh my god, yellow.
Okay, listen. This fake plant here was actually a good idea, but the problem is, like, you know, you cannot. Once again, you're giving out your location because you're running too much. Like, if I went for the fake plant here, and one enemy is reloading the gun at the backside, why would I run? You know, like, it is much better if you're just playing slow, waiting to see what enemies are gonna do, and then properly engaging that Reyna and destroying that Reyna. Maybe once the Reyna reloads, you can fake the plant again, and then wait for her to spam, and then run and gun her down. Also, one really good information that we got in this round is that when we are pushing B side, we really need to use the... We need to open the wall for our teammates. Like, your teammates... this is like a 50-50 fight for your teammates. Whenever, you know, you don't know if your teammates are gonna die somewhere, fighting the enemies, support them with your utility, let them cross this area of the map without fighting the enemies, and then let's fight the enemies together. Okay, in this VOD review, I think that we've discussed an enormous amount of very important, like, topics and very important rules and ideas that you should implement within your gameplay. Other than that, thank you for watching this VOD review. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, my dear tricksters and tricksetters. Join my Discord server for private coaching. You can also win the giveaways for free coaching and VOD reviews and some exclusive coaching videos and Valorant points as well. And see ya in the next one.